Blessed evening, collective. I am gonna express some things, and then I feel like pulling a reading. That's what's happening. There's still all this anxiety. It's becoming more and more clear to me that the anxiety is present in the collective. It keeps coming back in these waves that are just totally unrelated to anything. I mean, none of it is related, but I am aware there's certain elements of the anxiety that are being triggered within me by present experience, pieces of past conditioning that are coming back to the surface, old stuck emotion, that kind of thing. Some of it is personal and specific to me, but a lot of it, so much of it, it feels, is broader than that, because it comes out of nowhere, really out of nowhere, or just very vaguely connected. It's just more. It's more than what feels like mine. It feels like just too much to have come specifically from me, and it's vague a lot of the time. It is just this sort of vague sense of uncertainty, of unease, of fear. And yes, that is what the mind tends to settle on in states of transition, in places of unknowing, which is certainly where I am, in a place of unknowing what the future holds. It just feels bigger. It feels like the collective version of that. And in combination with that, there's been a triggering of guilt, definitely. I don't know if there's a collective component to that or not, but within me, giving myself permission to rest, to just be, and then noticing immediately after resting, after reaching sort of the point of no return of, well, we're resting now, we can't do the things because we're resting, then there's this retroactive feeling of guilt that we didn't do the things. But we didn't do the things because we didn't want to do the things. So what value would there be in forcing ourselves to do the things that we didn't want to do? That's not putting any sort of positive energy into motion. That's not benefiting anybody, honestly. And ultimately, it's just pointing again to this old mindset. There's lack wrapped into it, and unworthiness, fear of how will be perceived. If I don't do these things, how will I be perceived? Will certain people be unhappy? Will they judge me? Will they perceive me as whatever? And what will that mean about my being? Nothing. Nothing. It means absolutely nothing. A lot of this for me has to do with Christmas. I didn't get gifts this year. I didn't have it in me. I have been distracted. I have been feeling things. I've been going through things. And I just didn't have a desire to buy stuff for people. And I don't expect anybody to buy stuff for me. There was a very small group of people that I had the inspiration and the inclination to buy gifts for. And I was there and I had ideas, and it happened. It flowed. It was easy. Everybody else, it's been, I don't know. I have no ideas. I don't know what to get you, and thinking about it feels unpleasant. So I know really all that's there is a lack of desire. I feel no desire for this. Doesn't mean I don't care for these people, that I don't love these people. In the same way that I know if I don't receive a Christmas gift from somebody, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything about their being. That doesn't mean anything about their appreciation for me or feelings towards me. And, it's just irrelevant. None of it matters. But a lot of that for me has come up today in terms of, gosh, I didn't get the Christmas shopping done. I don't have anything for anybody. And how is that going to reflect on me? Well, it reflects however it reflects. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't actually mean anything. It means I didn't buy gifts. That's it. Same with anxiety. The anxiety itself, I'm just seeing it more and more. Labeling it as anxiety is not even necessarily helpful or true. It's just sensation. It is just sensation. That's it. The characterization of it as good or bad is what changes it from anxiety to excitement. And I don't have to characterize it at all. I can just let it be what it is, which is sensation. In fact, when I'm allowing it to just be feeling, when I'm in that place, that's where all of my power is, in just witnessing it. Now I get to choose which direction am I leaning. But in order to lean it into the positive, pleasurable side of the spectrum, I have to get into the neutral first. I have to get into neutral to shift gears, right? We gotta pop the clutch. We gotta shift someplace else before we can get into that higher gear here. There's also an awareness that dissociation has its own identity. How interesting is that? There is a faction within self that is the dissociative identity, and that dissociative identity is not me. It's not me because it's an idea. It's an idea of me. It's a story of me. I'm not disowning it and saying that's not a part of myself. It's a part of myself. It's just not my actual self. The idea, the story that I am dissociating, especially when it feels like it's happening, is a made-up narrative created by this other identity that says this is what we are. We dissociate. We are dissociated, and we freak out when it happens. We are disconnected from the body in the present moment. We're, oh no, we're dissociating. That's not actually me. That's trying to convince me that it's me. That is an identity that has formed around the concept of being dissociated and saying that that's myself when it's not myself. It's just a story about myself. It's not actually me. Just things that I am realizing. I'm going to pause this because I want to. I don't need to explain it more than that. And then I'll come back and pull cards. Okay, let's see where this goes. I want to pull on the general anxiety that's happening now. What's going on with this? And yeah, just that. What is the source of it? What is the advice around it? Change, transition. For me, this feels like confirmation that it is collective as well. That there's a lot going on. I mean, it's the world. The world is changing. Things are changing. Everyone can feel it. I am drawn again to the discussion of liminal space. That came back into my awareness just the other day of how the ego, the mind, really struggles. Sorry, buddy, my legs are falling asleep. Really struggles with change. It does not like change. But everything is continuously in a state of some sort of transition. It's actually constant underneath. What we're afraid of changing is well-being and security, but those things are constant. Those things are never in question. It's only surface level stuff that is ever shifting. Our well-being, our security, our stability, our abundance, our belovedness, our life, our existence, it's never in question. None of that ever changes. Oh, and now the cat's laying right where... Now you're gonna lay right where I was gonna pull cards. I have to rotate this some more. Well, we can try to get the light out of there as much as possible. But we are in a state of massive transition right now. And all of these identities, again, the concepts of self. You are not who you think you are. You are never who you think you are. And when you lose who you think you are, you gain connection with who you actually are. When you have no idea who you is, you let go of the concepts, you let go of the limitation, you become your actual self, that which is really just here, really just being. What else? Yeah, I can't. Death. under the world. I mean, transition, state of transition, massive transition towards the place we want to be. This is our destiny. I mean, this is, yeah, and it's all new. This is what we asked for. This is what we've been creating. Something balanced, something stable, something. Balance is found in the flow. Balance is not found in stagnancy, in standing still. It's found in motion. That's where balance is discovered. That's where it takes place. We have to be moving. We have to be actively in the flow to be balancing. There's stuff that's been building for a really long time. Yeah, and it's here to move us away from everything that was built on illusion, that was built on lack, on fear, control, manipulation. All of that is falling apart. We're losing control because we were never meant to have it, because the things that we try to have control over are just controlling us ultimately. And it's time to surrender. It's time to just allow everything to be. To really trust that everything is happening. It's happening for us. It's happening the way that we want, really. It always is. I got cards jumping out already. I'm just pulling on why we're here. Yeah, we already have it all. We're moving into a place of powerful stability here. Guided by the soul. The soul is leading us to what we want. Balance. Energy is balancing itself. Balanced energy feels good to us. It's all that we actually want anyway, is to balance our own energy and balance within the energy. And again, balance is found in the flow. Yeah, balance. Again, really just soul nurturing. We're working with the self. It's like we're reunifying the self here. Establishing new contact within, new connection. And it's going to feel strange for all of this stuff to come online, especially to ego. Ego's going to fight it because it doesn't get it. It's going to fight it because it doesn't get it. Yeah, the sun. What's behind all of this stuff that we've been clinging to that is now too heavy, it's too dense to hold on to. We can't hold on to it anymore. There's guilt attached to this as well. And it's time to drop it, because we can just do that. We can realize all of that is connected to a story of the self that isn't true. I don't even feel guilty. That which I am, the soul, doesn't feel guilt. It does not feel guilt. So the guilty self, the self that feels guilt, is just an idea of self. It's a concept of self. It's not actually the self. When we recognize that's not actually me, we can just drop it and go back to being this free, unburdened being that we ultimately are. That's not my guilt. That which I am doesn't feel guilt. This story, this idea of myself perhaps feels guilt, but it's not actually me. It's just a concept. It's just a story. I can just, in this moment, stop telling that story about who I am and what I feel by realizing it's made up. It's not the actual. It's an idea. I can just let that go by realizing I am something totally else. I am not who I think I am. I simply am who I am. And I know what I feel by feeling it, not by thinking that I feel it. Whatever I think I feel is not what I feel. What I feel is actual. What I feel is experienced directly by me. And I don't need any processing. I don't need the mind to be involved in that. The mind just gets in the way. The mind doesn't understand feeling. It cannot comprehend feeling. It's not made to feel, it's made to think. The mind can't feel. So we don't need it to know anything, because that which is known by feeling. That's why the mind doesn't actually know a damn thing. There's no truth up there. There is nothing of actual substance. It's all imagined. It's all illusion. Hierophant at the bottom. I just feel profound spiritual changes, spiritual shifts. Collectively, we're awakening more and more. I feel like things are coming online. That's an odd interpretation, I understand. But it's not about the cards, it's about the sensation, it's about the feeling. Again, it's not about what I think the Seven of Cups means, it's about how this card feels to me in this moment. It feels like all of this stuff is showing up, popping into being. It's coming online. We're becoming aware of it in a new way, and we're becoming aware of our guidance system. That's what it is. How do we make choices? How do we navigate the world? With our heart, flowing with the feeling, following the feeling. Exactly that. Yeah, exactly that. First card out, Knight of Pentacles. We've been stuck in this for a while, stuck looking at this for a while. We don't have to look at it anymore. The only reason we're stuck is we keep examining it, thinking that the answer to it is found in the examination of it, but it's not. There's nothing there. There's nothing there to find. It's time to let this down. Again, to put down the thinking and engage the feeling. Just dive into the emotional content. What does it feel like? We don't stop thinking by thinking our way out of it. We can't think our way out of anything. Thinking is an endless loop. It's a bottomless pit. It's a trap. It's time to let go and just move forward, to just let the flow take us, to just be here for what is and say, whatever happens, whatever is here, I am here for it. I'm here with it. It's here for me. I don't have to know anything else. I just want to be present in this moment. Yeah, it's time to move. It's time to move on. Chariot. To realize we're holding ourselves stuck, holding ourselves back, holding ourselves in these patterns. We're stuck in these patterns because we think we need to solve them. Because we think there's something more to look at here, something more to do here. All of that is an illusion. That's the mind keeping you trapped within it by saying, yeah, keep it coming. Keep the energy focused here. As if you could somehow get out of here by flowing more into here. The answer is to just stop, to see that this is a trap. This is a dead end. There is nowhere to go with this thought process. So it's time to just put it down. We can just put the thought down. The moon, whatever we need to know will be revealed to us. We don't have to find it. We don't have to seek it out. It will show up. It'll just come up. It'll appear. We don't have to be prepared. We're not going to miss it. Everything that we're looking for, we're not going to miss. It can't miss us. We're looking inside, which is not, it's not inside. It seems like it's inside because it's inside of our head, but it's actually this projection of energy away from our own body when we're seeking some sort of answer in the mind space, trying to predict the future. That's what projects us out of the now, or we're analyzing the past. One of those two things, we feel like there's something to be found there that we have to scrutinize, we have to study, past or future. Somehow that's going to bring the knowing that makes us comfortable in making this decision. That's not how it works. The mind can't know. We're not going to find knowing through thinking. We're just not. There is one way you can do it energetically. And I learned this from Jeffrey Allen, who is a cool guy. And I'm maybe going to take one of his courses. But it's just, if you're struggling with a decision, move it out of the mind space, first of all, and into the feeling space. And go ahead and imagine down that path, but send energy down that path. Imagine fully and put some energy down the path, and then see how it feels. It's not about what it looks like. Well, what might happen? No, what does it feel like to flow yourself down that path? And once you've done that, pick the other path. Imagine you made that choice, and now flow some energy down that path of having made that decision. How does it feel over there? And then you always open up a third path, one that is the choice that you don't see. You don't have to know what it is. You just say, this is the option that isn't available to my consciousness at this moment. That isn't immediately obvious to me. Here is option C, and you flow some energy down that path and see how it feels. That's it. And then you pick the path based on what feels the best, not based on what you thought might happen, or you think it looks like, or any of those things. There's no thinking involved. It's all feeling. You feel down this path, you see how it feels, and then you trust the feeling. Does it feel good to flow down this path of having made this choice? Then you make that choice. You trust that. You don't need to know anything else. Does it not feel good? Which one feels worse? Because it's the path of least resistance too, as well as the path of most allowance. So if this one feels just less icky than that one, then it feels better. And then maybe the alternative, these options, neither one of them feels really great to me. Maybe there's a little less resistance in this one, but I'm hoping for option C, which I don't know what it is, but I'm opening it up to be available to me. And I'm putting some energy down there, and that feels the best perhaps. And so I'm going to just say yes. I'm going to say yes. When you pick a path, you say yes to it. You say, yes, I'm sending my energy down there. That's the path that I want prepared for me. And then it is. And it's all taken care of, and you've made your choice, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. There's no thinking involved in this process. It's all feeling. I did this the other day. And it's okay for doubts to come back again. It's okay. That's going to happen. They're a part of the pattern. They have an established routine. They have some momentum. It's not a problem. But I did this the other day, considering this unknown future that lies ahead of me. And I felt down a couple different paths, and I found the one that felt right. I let myself imagine through feeling, if I make this choice, if I make this choice, if I make this choice. And it was pretty clear which one felt right to me. Do I know how it works out? No. I have no idea how it happens, and I have no idea what it really looks like. I just know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to make that choice. So I've made that choice. I've said yes to that path. I've put my energy down that path. That path is prepared for me now. That's what it is. Everything is being given to us. You ask and it's given. You don't have to find it. You don't have to seek it out. It comes to you. It's seeking you. It's time to put down the struggle and the strain, the worry, the effort, trying to control, and just let it unfold. Let it happen for you. It's all coming. We can trust this. You can trust yourself. We're taught not to trust ourselves, so is it any wonder that we don't trust the universe, which is ourself? And of course, people are much easier to manipulate when they don't trust themselves. When you don't trust yourself and you don't trust the universe, you're stuck in these patterns of things not happening perhaps the way that you think that they should. Again, there's a lot of thinking involved, even though they're all happening for the right reasons still. And then it's easy for other people to sell you on things and say, you know, if you want to be happy, you buy this pill, this book, this whatever. You don't need any of that stuff. Everything that you want is coming to you. Just trust it. You are the universe. You can trust yourself. You're on your side. All of the time. All the time. Ego doesn't understand it. It doesn't understand the way that it works. It says, how can I be on my side? How can I trust myself when things like poverty and rape and abuse and murder happen? And some of those things happen to me specifically. How can I trust myself? You're just missing the bigger picture. You're just missing the bigger picture that reveals that all of this is working out for you, because it is. And I know the mind says, I don't get it. How can it possibly? It does. It is. Because your being is secure. Because death is not death. Because nothing can harm you. Nothing real can be threatened. All of that stuff is illusion. Nothing has ever happened that's been harmful to anyone. Actually. That's the truth of perception, of expanded awareness. Nothing bad has ever happened. Nothing has ever gone wrong. It can't. There's no wrong. There's no bad. Everything is safe and secure and well. It is eternally that way. When we start to trust that and believe that, we can put down all of the thoughts, all of the worry, all of the trying to manipulate and understand. We don't need to understand. And there is no understanding that really comes from that. There is no knowing with the mind. It's all direct. It's all in feeling. So it's time to put the thinking down. Start down a new path. The path of feeling, the path of trusting, the path of saying, I'm just going to tune into my guidance system. I'm going to tune in to my feeling, and I am going to trust it. I'm going to follow it. If something feels good to me, then that's what I do. And if it doesn't feel good, then I don't do that thing. And I find the next best feeling thing. That's it. I don't need a reason. I don't need to explain myself or to have it explained to me. I don't need to justify it. It felt right, so I did it. That's it. It's time to tap into that. And again, we do that just by putting the thinking self down. You are not that self. That's another idea. The you that is trapped in your mind, the you that is thinking all of the time, the you that is worried, the you that is dissociated, the you that is confused, that's not you. That's an idea of you. That's maybe who you think you are. It's not who you are. When you see that, you can just step out of that role. You can step out of identification with this story of the confused self, the anxious self, the dissociated self, realizing that's just a concept. That's just an idea. It's not actually you. Who are you? You're not limited by that idea. You're not restricted to that. You're something so much greater, so much more powerful, so much more joyful, so much stranger than that fiction is. The reality of you is stranger than the fiction that your mind has created about you. And much more fun. Justice, final card out. We're ending injustice. And it's read with the Chariot. I mean, balance, balance. New beginnings, things in motion. Things coming in, coming up. It's okay to feel fear. I want to say that too. With the moon here. Just remembering that fear is not guidance. The soul doesn't communicate through fear. That's all part of the illusion. That's all part of the story. The fearful self is just another identity that's not you. You're not afraid. Fear is something that you feel, perhaps, because of identification with an egoic identity, and that's not a problem. That's not a bad thing. But what you are is not afraid. You are so big and so strong and so brave that fear is something that you can feel within your being and not be affected by it. We're going to use the animals to clarify. Because it feels right. And I'm remembering this, yeah, you're bigger than you think you are. You're stronger than you think you are. Even when you feel small, you're not. You're not. You're ready for this. We're ready. We're capable of this. We're so afraid of making the wrong decision that we don't make a decision at all, but the choice has been made within us. Here it is again. Yeah, we're so afraid of making a decision that's going to disappoint us. Follow the feeling. That's how you make a decision that doesn't disappoint you, by trusting your feeling. Your guidance will not lead you astray. You will feel good making this choice. You will not face disappointment in making this choice. Even if something plays out in a way that you didn't perhaps expect, it'll feel different. You'll see it differently when it happens, if it happens that way. But ultimately, the soul is not going to lead you down a path of disappointment. Contrast? Yes, there's going to be contrast. Absolutely, there's always contrast. We want contrast. But when you trust, yeah, it's just that message exactly. When you trust the soul to guide you, when you trust the feeling to guide you, and you make the choice based on the feeling, you're lined up for victory, for success, for the very best thing. It's always working out for you in the best possible way. It always is. Even when we're not listening to the guidance of our soul, we're being guided to listen to the guidance. We're seeing, oh, things aren't happening the way that I would like them to. Maybe I try this differently. Maybe I start listening to feeling instead of being all wrapped up in this headspace, this imagination, this trying to predict the future and getting myself tangled up in the fear of what might be. I'm so afraid of failure. I'm so afraid of disappointment that I don't make any decisions at all, and then I feel disappointed. It's time to make a decision. It's time to put down the thinking, to realize we're ready, we're capable, we have the power, we have the tools, we have the truth within us. Which one of these things do we want? We know exactly what it is in here. It doesn't matter what the mind says. Put the mind down. Flow some feeling down that path. Find which one feels good, which one feels right, and then go. That's it. That's all you need. That's where it's all at. There is something really, really stable down that path. That's the path that the soul is leading us down. By the feeling of it. Yeah. This is how masculine energy aligns with feminine energy. Balances with it. By, again, sitting right behind it. By letting it lead. You're asking the soul, which is feminine energy, to lead. By feeling. This is saying, this is the masculine energy saying, I am putting the mind down. I don't know where to go, says the Emperor. You know where to go, soul, feminine. You know where to go. Show me where to go. And then we go. I'm the one who says go. You point, I say go. That's how it works. Feminine directs the chariot. The emperor drives the chariot. She sets the course. He cracks the whip. That's what we're all learning right now. In a big way. Tell me about this Knight of Pentacles. Why is the Knight of Pentacles here? We've been stopped here for a long time, but we're about to move. We're about to move. Yeah. Not wanting to lose control, ultimately. Trying to restrict to maintain this balance. Yeah, there's something it's time to walk away from, quite clearly. There's the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, we've been stood at this for a long time. And there's, look at that. Ace of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, read together. Exactly that. It's time to go. We know where to go. And there's the Moon, which is red with the Knight of Pentacles. We've also got the Four of Wands in here, but which is the new path. We know this is the path. We can see it. We can feel it. It's time to take off towards it. And there's Justice too. All of these repeating cards. It's the path that feels the most good. We're trusting intuition here. Three of Cups. Ten of Swords on top. Yeah, we have the truth. It's time to go. If there's a decision that we feel guilty about, something that is coming to a close, something that we're ending something. It can just be a way of being. For a lot of us, that's what it is. We're putting down this thought. We're ending the story of the anxious, confused, uncertain self. It's time to end that narrative, to put that down, to realize that's not us. And that's going to drive real physical decisions as well. There's a lot of those taking place here. What path do we choose? We're feeling the call away from something into something new. And it's time to follow that. Does it feel good? Then trust it. That's it. That's it. Because it doesn't feel good to be sitting in this. Yeah, time for something new. Page of Wands, again. Again. It's time to get adventurous here. We're returning to that time of childlike innocence and wonder when the world still believed in magic. I'm going to keep repeating that because that is the way that it was delivered to me, and it keeps coming back. It keeps coming back. Innocence is a state of not knowing. That's what makes you innocent. You're not having your actual knowing, your experience, your learning obscured by all of this stuff that you think you know. Your mind isn't full, it's empty. It's empty. We're emptying the cup. We're returning to innocence, to purity, where we're not having the world, trying to make the world fit into this view of it that is really just something that we've gathered over the course of our physical existence, picked up along our trail from other people telling us this is how the world is, this is how it works, this is what it is. None of that stuff is true. It doesn't feel good, and it's not true. It's time to ditch all of those ideas of what is, all of the ideas of who I am, all of the ideas of how this works, what this is. It's time to put all of that down and start fresh. Look at the world, look at the self with new eyes. Eyes that are seeing clearly because they're not obscured. There's no dust on this lens. because there's no lens. We've put the mind down. We're facing it directly now. Tell me about the Chariot. It's pulling the trigger on a new adventure. I was just about to say it's go time, and the Fool fell out. I am still shuffling because that was a block of cards, but it was mostly about just the Fool there. It's go time. It's time to go. It's time to take the leap. Something new. Where's the Chariot here? Come on. I put it back in the middle of the deck. There it is. There it is. The Fool. It's time to go. It's time to go. Wheel of Fortune, and there's that 10 of Wands, which is breaking to the Ace of Wands. It's time to go. The wheel has turned. Everything has shifted. This is a new adventure. And none of the old rules apply. Again, it's drop that old mindset, because there's nothing there for you. Nothing in that is valid. Nothing in that is true. Leave it behind. Leave your bag of fucks behind. If you keep finding that you have fucks to give, which happens to me frequently, I think I'm out of fucks. I think I've given them all away. Well, it turns out I found another one. I keep finding fucks. They're just crawling out of the woodwork. I didn't realize until the other day, I could just put that fuck back where I found it. I don't have to pick it up and give it to somebody. I can just leave it there. I can just leave that fuck where I found it and move on. What's on top? The Tower. That's a dramatic change. I mean, I'm just hearing the crack of the whip, the crack of lightning striking this tree. I guess it would sort of be thunder. That's what that is. But it's just this crash happening. Yeah, it's time. Things are changing. Things are shifting one way or another, whether we want them to, whether we think we want them to, because actually we do want them to. The mind will say that it doesn't want things that the soul wants. That happens all the time, which is, again, just more evidence, more practice, more demonstration of seeing that, oh, this is not me. This idea of me that says it's me and says this is what I want, it's not actually what I want. And I can just put all that down. What's red with the Tower? Come on. I can just put the mind down. The mind is breaking. I mean, it's masculine energy. It's the Emperor. This is perfect. It is the mind, the masculine energy, stepping outside of itself, realizing that its idea of itself is not itself. What masculine energy thinks it is not what it is, because at the core, masculine is feminine. I mean, there's a balance. There's always a balance. There's multiple components, but really, at the core of everything is feminine energy. Underneath, if you just keep going. What the masculine energy wants is to feel. What the mind wants is to stop thinking, is to stop being the mind. Masculine is not even as much mind as it thought it was. It's realizing it can set that down, that idea, of itself down. Focus on the soul, focus on that which it actually is. Oh my goodness, internal feminine. And follow that. I suddenly have hiccups. I don't know what's going on here. Time for tea. That's really cool. Yeah, all the armor is coming off. Everything that masculine energy thought that it was, it's not. And that's being revealed. And now it's going, I'm free. First, it's terrifying to lose everything that you thought you were, and then you realize none of that was me. So first of all, I wasn't harmed in the loss of it. None of it was me. Now I get to know who me is. Who is me? It was none of that stuff. But I find out by feeling, by being. Now I know who I am is not found in the mind, is not found in the concept of self, is not found in any idea or story, anything that lives up there. It's all down here in the heart space. So feminine, soul, heart, that which I truly am, show me, guide me. Guide me to justice. What's the energy around the moon, which is in the soul position? The final outcome. This is where we're headed. This is where the soul is leading us, again, to justice. Yeah, the wheel of fortune behind it. I mean, that's a freight train. I don't know how else to describe it. That is unstoppable energy. There is an unstoppable forward motion here. And all we got to do is lean into it and realize that it feels good to do so. It's all coming. It's all working out for us. Again, it's all... Justice doesn't miss you. You can't escape the courts of divine justice, right? And it's always working, it's always ruling in your favor. This verdict and the result of it binds us. There's nothing we have to do here. You just sit and you let it happen. There is nothing for you to do in the court of law. You have brought this, you have appealed to the highest self. The ruling has been made. It's in your favor, as it always is. Now it takes place. It comes to you. There's nothing else you got to do. 6 of Cups. Something coming back around. Something that's always been yours. What's yours is always yours, no matter what. If you created it, it comes back. That's how it works. That's why when you create something, that manifestation reaches you. It can't miss you. If you try to reject it, it will come back. It comes back around. That's also why you can't actually miss a soulmate. If you miss them, they come back. Whatever job opportunity, whatever it was that looks like it was missed, if it's yours, if it's meant for you and you created it, and if you want it, then it's yours. And I mean want it from the soul, not from the mind. Not something that makes sense. In fact, in many cases, it'll be something that doesn't make sense to the mind, and that's why you reject it the first time around. Because it doesn't make sense. The mind sees that and goes, oh, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. That isn't what I asked for. And the soul is going, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's exactly what we asked for. It's spot the fuck on. It's not what you think you want, because what you think you want is not what you want, because you are not who you think you are. Who you are asked for this, created this. You know it by the feeling of it. Trust the feeling. And it comes back. You can't miss it. It reaches you. Ooh, 3 of Swords. I just want to say you can't miss it. If there was any part of you that felt like when that thing went away, oh, I fucked up, well, trust that feeling in the first place of, oh my God, it hurts to have let this pass me by. I didn't think I wanted it. Now I know. I really did. So the next time I see it, I'm going to put down all of the mind stuff, all of the worry, all of the trepidation, the apprehension, the trying to understand, and it doesn't make sense. I'm going to put all of that down, and I'm going to go for it, because I know what it felt like not to. And that contrast gave me clarity about my desire, what my desire actually was. I didn't think I wanted it. I turned it down. Then I learned by the emotional response that I really wanted it. I really, really, really wanted it. And what I want is mine. So it's coming back. And now I have and am grateful for the increased clarity around this. I'm not going to miss it because I already know what it feels like to think that I've missed it. That's shown me how much I don't want to miss it. You get the picture. You get the picture. If we didn't take action before, the pain builds. It builds until we do. It builds until we say, oh my God, I want this. I fucking want this, because thinking that I might not get it or that I don't have it hurts so bad. So bad. And that is showing me my desire in a way that is overriding all of the shit in the mind that was doubting that desire. Doubting, questioning, judging it, and I'm seeing again even more that the mind doesn't know what it's talking about. The mind doesn't know what I want. The heart knows what it wants. And the heart wants what the heart wants. That's the soul. That's where the soul lives. That's where it speaks. Is through the heart, is through emotion, through love, through desire. You can know your desire through pain at the perceived absence of it. That's clarity in contrast. And then that sharpens your focus on the desire and sharpens your determination too, in realizing this is what I want, and what I want is mine. I'm grateful to know what I want through the perceived absence of it. Now I can focus on the desire and knowing that my desire is the evidence of having it. Now I can put myself in that place of receiving, of actually allowing this in, this which I have created already. It's manifested, it's done, all the work is done. It's been given to me. I have in fact already received it. And when I see it, I'm going to know it immediately by the emotional content. And whatever the mind says, I'm not going to let it stand in my way, because I know it's full of shit. Whatever it says about me wanting this or not wanting this, that's not where the knowledge happens. All of that comes from right here. All of that comes from right here. The cup is coming in. Again, the Knight of Cups. I mean, it's around the Ace of Wands. It's where is this Knight of Pentacles going on this new journey? Into emotion, into feeling. We're transitioning out of Knight of Pentacles into Knight of Cups. We're bringing the cup. We're flowing with the emotion. Straight into justice. Beautiful. Eight of Pentacles. It's again that this has been building for a while, but it's time to stop. The pentacles, I just get this, it's trapped. It's a feeling of being trapped. But we're not trapped. We're never trapped. We're never stuck in anything. Mixed with this 10 of Swords, it has kind of an 8 Swords feeling to it. But we know the path forward. The path forward, and you put yourself in that mental prison of 8 Swords by overthinking. That's what that is, overanalyzing, and you get confused and you don't know which way to go and how do I really feel and what's the right choice. Again, I don't want to make the wrong choice. None of that is going to be figured out in the mind. You put that down. You put down the thinking. You step outside of that. You realize this is not me. And there's nothing to be learned here. If I'm really struggling to make a decision, I'm going to flow some energy down these paths and I'm going to see how it feels. And I'm going to follow the feeling. And if I have a feeling of pain, if not choosing this path, if I'm making choice A and choice B, and choice A is scary, and choice B hurts, it hurts to have chosen this, to say no to this, then I know, oh my God, I want this. I want choice A. Because choice B fucking sucks. It feels terrible to have chosen that over this. So now I know with great clarity what my desire is. Choice A. That's the path that feels better. It might feel scary. There might be a lot of uncertainty there and fear. But the alternative? I know what I want from this, from feeling the pain of even entertaining that other option. So now I know with clarity, I go down this one. This is the one for me. This is what I want. Doesn't need to make sense to the brain. It's what I want. Yeah, that's how we make this choice. That sets us off on this new path. It's change, and it's swift. There is so much swift change and rapid forward motion here. And a lot of it hinges on this realization too, that we've been dwelling over a decision when the reality is we know what we want, because not choosing this hurts. Because we don't want to miss this. We can't stand the way that it feels to even think about missing this. That's how we know, oh my God, I gotta go. I gotta go for this. Because not is excruciating. And I know it doesn't make sense to the mind. It's not gonna. And I'm seeing more and more. There's nothing there for me. It's time to put the mind down, to stop debating this. The choice is made by my heart. What feels the best to me, or what feels the worst to me, and let me make the opposite choice from that. That's it. Nothing else needs to make sense. Nothing else needs to be known, to be explained, justified. You just walk away and say, I gotta do this. I can't not do this. I can't. I am making this choice for my heart, for my energy, for myself. And I'm going to feel good about it. Because the alternative is so terrible that I don't even want to entertain it. Now it's so clear to me. It's so clear what the path forward is. It's you. I want to just say that. It's you. It's you. It's this all the way. That is the only path that my heart wants. That's the path that I'm choosing. That's the path that I believe in. That's the path that I trust. It's this. The alternative fucking sucks. It feels terrible. So if there was any question, there's my answer. This is the path. Tell me about justice. Final outcome. Justice is here for us all. For somebody, this is divorce. I'm not, maybe not even somebody who sees this. I don't know. But it is, I mean, and divorce is just a word. It doesn't have to be the end of a relationship, a physical one. It can be divorcing ourselves from, again, that thought process. Divorcing ourselves from the marriage of identity to this idea. It can be from a job. Yeah, something from fear. Something that we've held on to out of fear of letting go. Fear of the unknown. But we can't sit in this anymore. It's too painful not to go. We know what we want. If there was any question, again, of, gosh, well, do I just stay here because it's cozy and comfortable, it's complacent, it's safe, but staying here has become painfully obvious as unwanted. If we weren't sure before and we were trying to puzzle it out, we felt something happened. Something happened where we felt very clearly, oh my God, I want that. I want that. And I've been denying it to myself this whole time. I didn't even know how much I wanted that until I thought about not having it. The reality of not having it, its absence, set in. And that clarified my desire enough to spur me into motion, to set me on fire. Give me a kick in the ass to say, we're going towards that because we can't not. We're done debating, we're done contemplating, we're done thinking about this. Decision made. Decision made by the soul. We're following the soul, we're following the feeling. Yeah, forward, onward, into new horizons. Again, something happened here that made us reevaluate what it is that we really wanted.
it has a lot to do with this sudden realization that it could pass us by. Again, that which is yours, which you've created, it comes back, but you have to accept it, or it keeps just on this loop circling around. And you only ever reject it because of ego, again, because this imagined self says, oh no, that's not what we want, but that's not you talking. And finally, you realize the feeling is not syncing up with the thought here. The brain says that's not what we want, but the heart says that's everything I want. That is everything that I want. And not going towards that is breaking me. And then you realize something's not right here. One of these is more real than the other. One of these is more true than the other. One of these is actual and one of these is made up. There's the you that's thinking thoughts and there's the you that's listening to the thoughts. Six of Pentacles, balance, again, balance of masculine and feminine energy taking place, but it is giving to this. And justice being given, being delivered to us. Again, just we realize the desire here. Masculine energy is realizing its desire. And it's understanding that trusting that and acting on that is the only thing that feels good. All of this other stuff, it doesn't matter what it looked like. Even if it felt safe, it doesn't feel good. This hurts. Not going towards this is intolerable. That's how we learn to lean into the wanting of it, into the desire of it, and say, oh, I denied myself something here, something that is mine, something that is deeply wanted within me. And I know now, by perceiving the absence of it, the loss of it, the missing of it, that I don't want to miss this. And in realizing that I don't want to miss this, I am now open to receiving it. And now it can come to me. Now it can come in. It was never really missing. It was just, again, it's missing, but it's on this loop that comes back around. When I finally realize, oh, I want this, I don't want to miss this, I just step that tiny inch to the side where now we're on a crash course. Now we collide. Now we come together. I was just slightly out of alignment with myself. All of this was on the loop of myself, what is actually mine, what I've created, what I want, what's received by me. I was imagining myself to be something else. So I had split my own energy a little bit away from me. I was facing away from what it is that I wanted. But in all the facing away from what it is that I wanted, I was only pointed back towards it, into realizing what it was. All of the pain of being over here made me go, oh my God, this. And the second I realized that, it comes in. It's always been mine. Now it is revealed to me as mine. And I'm learning now that that's how this works. That I trust the desire, I trust the feeling. I don't trust the brain. The brain doesn't know anything. The masculine energy is learning that it is not the one to be making decisions. It doesn't have the guidance. It doesn't know where it's going. It is entirely reliant upon feminine energy for that guidance, that intuition, to direct it towards its desire. The tower just fell out. Dramatic changes taking place. In motion, currently in motion. It fell out sideways and I feel it as it's toppling. I'm taking that off to the side here. New stuff that's been a long time coming. Again, stuff that's been coming in. It's been right there. It's been in orbit. It's been ready for us. We just hadn't let it in because we hadn't acknowledged our desire. We hadn't made the decision to permit that desire, to focus upon it, to realize it within ourselves. We were stuck in this mental prison of, well, what is it that I really want? I don't know. Maybe I just stay here. Maybe I can think my way through this choice. That's not how anything works. That's not how you discover any truth. You feel your way through it. Something happened that caused us to feel and to realize this, that all of the thinking was a dead end. There was no truth in there. The answer was always right here. The choice had already been made by the soul. Yeah. The choice had already been made. We already moved that direction. The soul's already over there, enjoying that stuff that it wants. That's your stuff. You're the soul. That's what you want. I can't make this up. 8 of Cups, again. It's time to walk away. Whatever doesn't feel good, walk away from it. Whatever hurts not to go towards that. Oh my God. Go towards that. Follow the heart. Follow the intuition. Feminine energy is rising right now. And it's so incredibly beautiful to witness. What's right with that 8 of Cups? Yeah, feminine energy again. But it is just follow the soul. I want to say to gladness. I don't know why that is the word that comes through. But to abundance, to everything that is desired. The true stability. The wish fulfilled, all of it. Everything that we wanted, everything that you want is already done. It's already there for you. It's just a matter of realizing what you want. And you realize it by feeling. There's a decision here. There's a change of perspective, a realization of what is truly desired based on realizing how much the thought of missing it hurts. If the thought of missing out on something, of not taking action on something, is so painful to you, that means you want it. You want it because it's yours. You got to flow with that energy. Flow with your own energy. It's already over there. You're already there enjoying that stuff. So just trust it. And say, again, I got to do this for me. Trust the soul. Your guidance will not lead you astray. There is nothing in the mind for you. This is not the way to make decisions. Thinking? No. You won't get anywhere with thinking. That's analysis paralysis. Put down the mind. Realize you don't have to think your way through decisions. You don't have to think your way through anything. That itself is an identity. The story of the thinking self, of this is what we do and this is what we have to do. Again, all made up. Made up, not true. That's not you. That's not what you have to do. You can just put that down and flow some energy down the pathways. Which one feels the best? Which one feels the worst? It's all guidance, one way or the other. And you know by the feeling which one is for you. And then you pick that, and it's done. You're done. No more debate, no more confusion, no more worry. Path chosen, prepared for you, and you receive it. You just put yourself into alignment with it. It can't miss you. It never could, but you had to line up with it in order to get the connection. That's occurring. And all it takes is the realization of what is wanted. Realizing what you want brings it to you. It was always there. It was always waiting for you. It was waiting for the moment that you realized, oh my God, this is it. The moment you realize it, you put yourself on the path towards it. And it's a sure thing. It's set. You set that in motion. That is your course. It's set. It is something that can't be altered. Hopefully that assuages some of the anxiety in collective, because that feels good to me, to remind myself of this. This is the message. This is the message, and it resonates powerfully with me. And I do intend that it resonates with you, my beautiful viewer. I would love to know if so. Leave a comment, like, subscribe if you feel so inclined. None of that matters, though. None of that matters. Just trust your heart. Follow your heart. It will not lead you astray. And now I've got that 98 Degrees song, True to Your Heart, from Mulan in my head, which I love because it's so true. Anyway, big changes. Stay the course. You're on the path. Follow where your heart is guiding. Even if there's doubt, that's okay. That's okay. That's just old mind stuff coming in. Again, that's just the brain re-engaging these made-up identities of self, coming back and saying, well, but what about this? But now we don't feel so certain, because no, the uncertain self is not you. The uncertain self is not yourself. The uncertain self is a story of yourself, is an idea, it's a concept. It's okay if it comes back in and you find yourself having picked it up. You can just put it down again. You can put it down as many times as you pick it up. That's it. You don't have to stop that train. You can just get off of it over and over, and eventually it'll run out of momentum. It's never a problem. It's never a threat. If you find yourself having gotten back on that train, having picked up that idea of self again, just as soon as you notice it, oh, I picked it up again. This idea of self that said that I was uncertain or doubtful or insecure or dissociated or anxious, whatever it was, I just started believing that was me again. But that's not me. That's just an idea of me. So I can just put that down, and when I put it down, I'm actually me. I can just be me. Not idea, but actual reality. And then I'm in touch with my feeling. What is it that I feel? What do I want? I know it by how I feel about it. I can experiment with feeling. I can make all my decisions with feeling. I'm going to just do that. And I'm going to trust that because it feels good. That's it. That's the whole message. This feels good to me. And ultimately, that's all that matters. But I do hope that this helps somebody make a decision, or at least understand what's going on with all of the collective anxiety. Because there's a lot of changes, a lot of decisions being made. And we can trust them because they're all really, really good, and they're all leading us exactly where we want to go. Just keep trusting it. Anytime you pick up doubt, see it, thank it, set it back down again. That's it. Pick up trust. That's you. Have a beautiful evening, and know that always and always, in every vector of time and space, you're worthy. You're well, you're secure and abundant. It's all working out for you. And I love you.